This is Government Unfiltered. I'm Dan Williams. This podcast is a reading of the December 22nd, 2022 final report from the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. Chapter 6. Be There, Will Be Wild. 6.15. POTUS likes the Crazies. As Katrina Pearson helped plan the Ellipse rally, she faced another complication. The Stop the Steal movement played an outsized role in promoting January 6th, and now as the day approached, its leading voices wanted prime speaking gigs, perhaps even on the same stage as President Trump. Roger Stone, Alex Jones, and Ali Alexander were all angling for significant stage time. Pearson knew they were trouble. In her testimony before the Select Committee, Pearson cited several concerns, including that Jones and Alexander had played a prominent role in the November 2020 protest in Atlanta, Georgia. This was no ordinary protest. Jones and Alexander had gone into the Georgia Capitol with some inflammatory rhetoric, Pearson explained. When Pearson was asked if Jones and Alexander surrounding the governor's mansion and going to the Capitol were the kind of thing that gave her pause, she responded, absolutely. After the Georgia protest, Pearson explained the Kremers, who had helped organize Stop the Steal activities, distanced themselves from Jones and Alexander. But there was an additional problem. President Trump wanted to include the Stop the Steal leaders in the January 6th event. As Pearson put it in a text message to Kylie Kremer, POTUS likes the Crazies. Pearson said that she believed this was the case because President Trump loved people who viciously defended him in public. But their vicious defenses of the president clearly troubled Pearson. Pearson tried to trim the speaker lineup, which still included the Stop the Steal trio of Stone, Jones, and Alexander. She was initially vetoed by the White House after Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications Dan Scavino, who had approved the original psycho list. At one point, she texted Scavino's boss, Mark Meadows, saying, "Things have gotten crazy, and I desperately need some direction." She was concerned by the possibility of crazy people being included in the event, their incendiary role in Georgia, and the fact that people coming to Washington, D.C. were planning to protest at the U.S. Capitol. Meadows told Pearson that she should take control of the situation and remove the possibility of controversial speakers. Pearson agreed to do so. But the president remained an obstacle. During their January 4th meeting, Pearson tried to convince President Trump to minimize the role of these potentially explosive figures at the Ellipse. She offered to place them at a planned event the night before in Freedom Plaza, or on other stages in D.C. on January 6th. She told the president to keep the fringe on the fringe, and advised him to eliminate convicted felons that could damage other speakers. President Trump was still unwilling to remove them from the lineup entirely. The president instructed Pearson to give Stone a speaking slot on January 5th, and asked for more information about Ali Alexander. After discussing the matter with Scavino, President Trump also requested that Alexander be given a speaking slot. President Trump brought up Ali Alexander. Just keep him on stage, not associated with POTUS or main event, Scavino wrote. In the end, the Stop the Steal leaders, Stone, Jones, and Alexander, did not appear on the stage at the Ellipse on January 6th, although they did speak at other planned events, consistent with the president's request about Alexander. POTUS expectations are to have something intimate and then send everyone over to the Capitol, Pearson explained in a text message to Justin Caporali and Taylor Budowich. Caporali redacted this text and others in his early production of documents to the Select Committee, and he only revealed them after they had already been produced by other witnesses. However, other incendiary voices, in addition to President Trump's, were given time on the Ellipse stage. The Select Committee learned that President Trump's aides warned him against the inclusion of figures like John Eastman and Rudolph Giuliani, given their false claims about election fraud. both men, of course, ended up sharing a stage with him on January 6th. Meadows himself directed that they be allowed to speak. Episodes of Government Unfiltered are created based on the value for value model. I create the episodes, and you can decide what it's worth to you. If you prefer to listen through the full chapters rather than the individual chapters, supporters at patreon.com/timberlanemedia get exclusive access once they're completed. Thank you to associate producer Jay Bernhard and all of the insiders who provide support there. You can also support the effort at governmentunfiltered.com by clicking the support button for a one-time donation. And you can click the contact button and ask for an address if you'd prefer to mail a check. Follow the show on Twitter at govunfiltered or on Facebook at facebook.com/governmentunfiltered. Thank you for listening.